How do I feel about Never Have I Ever being gone forever? It's low-key the end of an era. Like, how else am I supposed to feel?
There's no romance. What's the point? Just kidding. Maybe.
Yo, it's Anne, aka Antagonist. Welcome back to my channel. I don't want to keep you long, so we're gonna just dive right into the conclusion of the Never Have I Ever series. So as we all know, Never Have I Ever follows the adventures of Devi Vishwakumar, an Indian-American teenager who lives in Southern California. We start the series with Devi about to enter her sophomore year after the sudden and tragic passing of her father, who she was really close with. The show is notorious for the messiness that Devi gets into, outlandish jokes, questionable casting choices.
I am 16, going on 17.
And its many convoluted love triangles and love plots. Emphasis on the love triangles part because the Team Paxton versus Team Ben rhetoric takes up the bulk of the conversation when it comes to the show. But as the series comes to its conclusion, it's become clearer and clearer to me what the thesis of the show is and has always been, and how a certain love story has flown under the radar. So let's dive deep into the neglected love story in Never Have I Ever. Before I get into the point of this video essay, I just want to quickly sum up my thoughts of season 4 in 90-ish seconds. FYI, in prep for this video, I watched season 4 and then the entire series from the beginning. So I've seen every season at least twice. Basically, I know what I'm talking about and my opinions are absolutely correct. Okay, season 4, go. Season 4 wasn't my favorite. It was constantly losing its footing, like watching a baby deer walk for the first time. And it somehow doubled down on my issues with the show. I found Paxton's storyline regressive. It just made us come to the same conclusion we got last season, but with less significance and poorer execution. Also, the gray area that comes with him hanging out with underage students as a teacher gave me the major ick. Justice for Kamala. Unpopular opinion, I enjoyed Ethan's presence. It was fun, and I actually wish he had more cameos throughout the second half of the season. Another unpopular opinion, I wish Devi ended up alone. I didn't ship her with Paxton. I think their friendship is more interesting than their relationship. Ben, definitely don't ship her with him. More on that later. In my ideal world, Devi would have gone into college being single, newly healed, and ready to wreak havoc. Cause Miss Devi can pull. Yes, sir. Like, I don't want her shackled to a crummy long-distance relationship.
No, ma'am.
In general, Mindy Kaling writes flawed male love interests, which makes them more realistic and well-rounded as characters, but she kind of makes them too flawed. Like, this is still the female gaze. Justice for Anissa. I wanted more screen time for Eleanor and Trent. They are my #1 ship. OTP, I don't want to hear anything else about it. Anything that had to do with Nalini, Mohan, and Devi had me in tears, puddle on the floor. Overall, Devi's character arc was chef's kiss. Like, our girl has grown so much and I'm so proud of her. I'm really gonna miss all my ladies on this show. There aren't many shows out there right now that are doing what Never Have I Ever did, celebrating girlhood, exploring intergenerational female relationship and experiences, and I'm always here for my messy teenage girls, especially of color. I'm always rooting for them. Okay, let's get into it. In season 1 of Never Have I Ever, we start off in the middle of Devi's grief, which I must say is one of the biggest things I admire the show for. It's not rare for characters in a teeny bopper show to have a dead parent, but not often do we see or join the character on the journey of navigating through their grief. We usually just skip to the part where they're solemnly looking at photos or aspiring to be prom queen because that's what their mom wanted. That's no tea, no shade. Those stories are valid too, but rarely do we explore characters who haven't healed or who don't even know how to begin their healing journey. And through most of season 1, we see Devi and Nalini deal with their grief separately. Devi is busy chasing her dreams, like trying to get Paxton to bang her, and Nalini's distracting herself with regular house duties and trying to get rid of Mohan's stuff. But in episode 9 of the first season, that's when we learn something pivotal about Devi and Nalini's relationship. In a newly revealed scene leading up to her dad's death, we found out how much the timing of Devi's father's passing was even more tragic, and just how sharp the tongues of Vishwakumar women are.
You're struggling to raise me because you don't like me.
What? Don't like you? That's not true.
I heard what you said the night Dad died. You said I wasn't your daughter.
Devi, that's not fair.
What's not fair is that I lost the only parent that actually cared about me. I wish you were the one that died that night.
Devi's only really felt seen by her father, and Nalini acts as a foil character to Mohan in Devi's life. While Mohan was nurturing, encouraging, and understanding, Nalini is stoic, judgmental, and represses her emotions. Daily is kind of the perfect storm of both of her parents. She has a lot of emotions and she feels them passionately, like her dad, but often avoids her emotions by fixating on superficial things rather than dealing with them head on. And who's the queen of suppressing their emotions?
And I didn't think you were someone who believed in therapy.
I don't. It's for white people.
For me, this is when the show really had me hooked. On my rewatch, I was shocked to see how late in the episodes this moment came. Like, I guess I was asleep before that because that moment changed everything. Episode 9 and 10 are some of the best episodes of the entire series, hands down. And it's because the show really didn't hold back from exploring the complexities of a mother-daughter relationship, especially an incredibly imperfect one. It's clear that both Devi and Nalini had been suppressing their grief in different ways, and they'd also been tiptoeing around a scary realization. The realization that they're unsure on how to have a relationship with each other post Mohan's existence, because they're both scared that they don't know how to be in a relationship together without him. At the end of season 1, Nalini and Devi have a tearful heart-to-heart. Starting in season 2, both women are making an effort to better their relationship. Having laid everything on the table, they're closer than they've ever been, and they want to keep up that momentum. The entire reason Devi takes the idea of moving to India in stride is because it's important to her mom. The perfect word to describe the theme of Nalini and Devi's relationship in season 2 is understanding. Like I said, Devi's only felt understood and seen by her father, and she somewhat depended on him to understand herself. Your teenage years are some of the most formative years of your life where you're really trying to figure out who you are. You'll probably fail, but you're trying. But without her dad, Devi feels like she's navigating that path of self-discovery without a compass, especially with Devi learning a lot of unfavorable things about herself as of late. Devi's learning that she's not the best girlfriend, that she has the power to really, really hurt people. And with Anissa's showing up, Devi questions her identity and ties to her culture, and she sees that she's capable of being a bully after she inadvertently spreads a rumor about Anissa. And when she's faced with the consequences and a suspension, in that moment, she looks at the only parent left in her life to tell her about herself. Not in a reprimanding way like, tell me about myself, but in a tell me who I am kind of way. She wants her mom to guide her in the same way that her dad did. Devi's really saying, tell me that I'm a good person who does good things, because right now my actions have been saying otherwise and I need you to confirm it. Which is problematic and fails miserably. There are 2 reasons why Devi looking to her mom to inform her identity is a mistake. The first one being Nalini is still in the process of trying to understand her daughter. In season 2, episode 7, Nalini breaks down in her colleague's office and confesses that she's struggling with understanding Devi and takes it as a reflection on her mothering abilities.
I'm crying because I'm a terrible mother. I work all the time. I haven't raised my daughter properly.
She doesn't understand Devi like Mohan did. She doesn't bond with Devi like Mohan did. But she's not supposed to because she's a different person. In the beginning of the season, Nalini sees Devi as a complete separate entity to herself, not understanding her daughter's behavior or what it means or what to do with Devi's clear cries for help. Meanwhile, Devi takes all of Nalini's actions and words to heart and takes them as a reflection of who she is.
Dr. Ryan, do you think I'm crazy?
Of course not.
I think I might be. Everyone at school calls me Crazy Davy, and now my mom thinks I am.
But both women fail to realize that they're experiencing similar emotions, having trouble expressing their grief, and they both desire the same thing from their relationship with each other. Yep, you guessed it. Understanding. After some good advice from Dr. Jackson, Nalini helps Devi out by talking Anissa's mom into letting her stay at Sherman Oaks. And Devi says,
You are the best mom ever.
And justifiably Nalini's over the moon. But this isn't a good thing. It's not understanding. Because Devi has now placed Nalini in the same position she placed her father. A pedestal. Someone who has no faults, who does no wrong. But this illusion comes crashing down as quickly as it was built. When Devi finds out Nalini lied to her about her relationship with Dr. Jackson, Devi immediately lashes out. Because Devi has an issue of seeing her parents as human. We all do to a certain extent. Many children, including myself, pedestalize our parents, falsely thinking that they can't do any wrong and that they don't make mistakes because they're often the ones pointing out our mistakes. But that's not a true form of seeing and understanding a person because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Which segues perfectly into the second reason that Devi looking to her mom to inform her identity is a mistake. And that's because her mom is human. and humans make mistakes. You can't count on other human beings to inform your identity because humans are flawed, incredibly so. You really got to decide who you are on your own. And thankfully, Davy comes to that conclusion, but not without some major growing pains, if you will, especially with her mom. Davy learns that, like herself, her mom is a human being with wants, needs, a past, a life. Davy saw her and her mother's relationship in a dichotomy. Davy's the one who makes all the mistakes, and Nalini is either the cold, unfeeling, overbearing mother or her hero, failing to see Nalini's humanity.
I haven't moved on, Kanna, at all. I miss your father so much that it physically hurts. I guess I just wanted a break from that pain.
Now, after this talk, Davy sees her mother as human, someone who makes mistakes and can hold themselves accountable to them. And only when they begin to make a true effort to understand each other can they start a real emotional relationship. I don't have much meaningful analysis of Nalini and Davy's relationship in season 3, other than that they're in their bag, sis. This is when I truly clocked just how far their relationship had come. And they really do truly see each other now. In season 3, episode 3, after Davy's breakup with Paxton, her mom is really understanding about the whole ordeal. And instead of berating her about being interested in boys and claiming she shouldn't be dating until she's married, which is definitely something Nalini would have done before, she's extremely comforting and allows Davy to feel all the emotions that came with her breakup. In season 3, episode 9, Nalini stands up for Davy after Raya, Dez's mom, kind of comes down on Davy about her mental health issues. And they have one of the most heartfelt scenes ever.
What if nobody ever loves me because I'm always too much?
Oh, Devi. Listen to me. You're never too much, and you're always enough.
I'm not crying, you are. And in the final episode of season 3, Nalini puts Davy's wants and needs before her own, as she always does, by encouraging her to go to a special school that is somewhere in Colorado, I believe. And despite Nalini not being ready to let Davy go, she pushes herself to push Davy to give the school a real chance. Davy also realizes, despite really liking the opportunity that comes with going to the Colorado school, decides against it because she realizes just how far her and her mother's relationship has come and how they had spent so many years at odds, wasting the time that they had together on Earth. And Davy just wants more time to bask in their flourishing relationship before she has to go away to college, which is so sweet. Obviously paralleled by her dad's untimely passing. Davy is very aware that time is of the essence and life is short, and that she should take every opportunity she has to spend time with the people she loves. So I've been lying to y'all, or at least lying by omission, heavily implying it. Because the gag is, the neglected love story in Never Have I Ever isn't actually Nalini and Davy's love story. It's Davy and Ben's love story. Did I get you, huh? You see what I did there? Like, you thought it was Nalini and, like, yeah, okay. You got it. I hope I've shown you throughout this video just how fleshed out Nalini and Davy's relationship arc and storyline is. And the most impactful parts of the show revolve around their relationship. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Ben and Davy's relationship development frankly sucks. I'm not here to argue that I think Davy and Ben shouldn't be together, even though I don't. I'm here to argue that the story that was told doesn't believe they should be together. It seems like the most significant character growth Ben experienced was in season 1. Then, after Davy's cheating scandal in season 2, the boy never recovered. And I'm not pointing the accusatory finger here. Most people can't and wouldn't recover from a partner cheating on them. But this is your endgame couple. Ben should have bounced back. And here lies the problem. The show continues to put obstacles in Davy and Ben's way to create tension and prolong their inevitable getting together. However, the writers keep creating these obstacles that Ben and Davy aren't actually able to overcome, or at least not in a convincing way that has most people rooting for them as a couple. It's akin to trashing a room and putting a blanket over it, hoping people won't notice. Ben and Davy fail every test each and every time, and the writers attempt to fix it. Oh, did Ben make a low-key racist joke and call Davy ugly, making her burst into tears? Well, we can fix it with Davy saying something anti-Semitic. Oh, Davy cheated on Ben? and he's justifiably butthurt? Well, we can fix it by getting him with her new bestie, only to belittle and sideline said bestie to continue pining and complaining about why he can't get Davy. Basically, if Ben matches Davy's physical cheating with his emotional cheating, it's all okay. Oh, Ben and Davy are finally moving on and truly becoming platonic friends? Stop right there before you think they're better off as friends. We're gonna fix it by randomly throwing in the idea of Davy deciding to sleep with him in the last 2 minutes of the show without any lead up of any kind. And as if it couldn't get any worse, in the final season, they trivialized their relationship even more by having the most contrived events keeping them apart. Y'all really had to bring in Dwight Howard to be a scapegoat to get Ben to change his mind about wanting to be with Davy. And instead of Ben being single and taking time to himself so he can develop even further as a character, you stick him with arguably one of the most annoying characters to be on the show. Like the fact that Margot had more speaking lines than Manish and Anissa combined has me heated. Davy and Ben's relationship development is even more laughable when you compare it to Paxton's storyline. It was evident to me from the start of the show that Paxton was never going to be the endgame love interest. I've been with Mindy too long to not know how this would end. Yet the amount of care and time the writers give to Paxton's storyline and arc still takes me by surprise. Paxton mostly dominated season 2, and he had all the time to rage out about being cheated on by Davy. Then he became friends with Davy while she was helping tutor him, and he had the biggest growth spurt of sorts by realizing that he actually wants to earn his spot at college and take his studies seriously. And then we end off the season with him setting his insecurities aside and deciding to fully forgive Davy by going public with her. Then in season 3, he shows real maturity by ending things off with Davy when he realizes their relationship isn't healthy for the both of them and is able to develop a lasting friendship with her. And Paxton and Davy's friendship continues to be a highlight throughout the rest of the show. Meanwhile, after sleeping with Ben and causing a bit of drama, Davy's the most vulnerable she's ever been, arguably, and lets Ben know that she wants to be with him. And Ben...
I think that we're both just insecure and competitive, and we always manage to hurt each other. I need a girlfriend who makes me feel, I don't know, more like at ease or like happier with myself.
Literally lists off all the toxic things about their relationship. And the season does absolutely nothing to rectify those reasons. My theory is that Ben doesn't like himself all that much, and he feels insecure that Davy constantly picks conventionally attractive men over him at times, and he doesn't feel like he fits in her lineup of sorts. But the show does nothing to explore that or go any deeper into his character. The same care and foundation that was laid for the other relationships in the show was not given to Davy and Ben. Hence, they're actually the neglected love story of the series. Neglected by the writers, at least. The conclusion to the show brought a full circle to all the aspects of Nalini and Davy's relationship. In the pilot of the show, we open up with Davy praying to Hindu deities, asking for popularity, a hot boyfriend, and other superficial things, while her mom berates her about not dropping her blessed textbook on the floor. While in the first episode of season 4, Davy's still praying about arguably superficial things, but her mom is in the room and they're having an open discussion. That really shows the full vulnerability between Nalini and Davy and the newfound bond and closeness that they share. And Davy's newfound maturity finally shows itself in her relationship with her mother. In season 2, she absolutely freaks at the idea of her mom dating. But in this season, she's not only encouraging her mom to put herself out there, but Davy actively works to set aside her pride and sucks up to her nemesis Margot to ensure that her mom can date Andres. That's growth, baby. Growth. Mindy Kaling, co-creator of Never Have I Ever, interviewed saying that the show was essentially a love letter to her late mother, and it was inspired by the overwhelming grief she experienced after losing her mother to pancreatic cancer. And that 100% comes across on screen, because the show shines brightest when it explores its various familial and women-on-women relationships. It's evident that the heart and soul of the show is the relationship between all the women of the house. And it's no surprise that the real love story in Never Have I Ever is mother-daughter. I'm so sad to see the show come to an end. I really do feel like it's the end of an era, not to be dramatic. And yes, I'm still salty that the last shot was of Davy and Ben instead of her and Nalini or something to do with Mohan. Like, come on, whatever, I'll live. But let me not be negative anymore because this show, it is such a comfort watch. Like, I would sit back, relax, watch, just get into Davy's mess and feel warm and fuzzy in a way. Stressed, but warm and fuzzy. And I feel like it did a bunch of things that had not really been explored properly in teen shows. And it was actually a teen show for teens. Like, there are a bunch of shows that have teens in them, but this felt like a teen show that was for teens. And I really, really appreciate that as well. And I'm just hoping that more teen girls of color will be getting shows like this. Make it happen, Netflix. End the writer's strike. Call me. We'll make it happen. Anyways, it's totally okay to disagree with me. Just do it respectfully. Let me know what you thought of the season, about the show. If you like this video essay, let me know if you want more like this. And definitely subscribe, because when you subscribe, you get 99% hotter. I'm not making that up. It's a scientific fact. Like, what more can I tell you? Subscribe and you'll see. Subscribe and you'll see. All right. Thanks for watching my video. Bye.
Darling,